Hey everybody, I'm Barrett and you're watching Bikin McNuggets. Today I'm at the Buffaloe Rd Canoe Launch and we're going to take the Neuse River Trail up to Falls Dam. I hope you enjoy the ride. It's October 28th, 2021. Beautiful day. Let's get going. All right. All right, everybody, here we go. One thing I should mention is if you're going to park in the Buffaloe Rd Canoe Launch parking lot, you got to get back before dark. I made a bad judgment call, I guess you would say, and I didn't get back to my car in time. I got too far away and I couldn't speed back on the bike fast enough to get back to the car before dark, and they will lock you in that parking lot. So I had to call someone to come scoop me up. Luckily I live close by and I have a friend that lives in the neighborhood, and it conveniently worked out for me. But if you get caught in the wrong situation, you could get stuck out here. But to get to that parking lot, you turn on off of Buffaloe Rd, you get onto Elizabeth Drive, and it kind of winds around. And Elizabeth Drive is right by the river. That's the best way to find it. If you're coming from in town, it's before the river, on your right. So this is a route that I take a lot of times when I'm trying to get some distance in, because this trail goes a long ways. Coming up by your left side, it's about 34 some odd miles one way on the Neuse River Trail. And we came in, let's see, here's a mile marker coming up on the left, and we are at 10 and a half. So our ride is going to be 10 and a half miles long today. So I'll probably have to pick up the pace a little bit so we keep our time frame correct. See, there's lots of pine straw and leaves coming down. Hey. So they're quarrying some big old rocks on the left here. They took a huge plot of trees out, like, I don't know, 50 plus acres of trees out. Building a subdivision or something. They're building everywhere out here. It's prime real estate. That was a funky hat helmet combination. I've never seen that before. Wow. You might have to go back and like pause it to see what I'm talking about. But like super wide brim hat with a bike helmet on top. So I wasn't crazy inspired to ride today for some reason. It's so beautiful out, but I know that this weekend I'm not going to get any chances to ride. So I figured it's now or never. Come ride your bike. And it's supposed to rain in a couple hours. Well, at least the chances go way up. And it's supposed to rain this afternoon, evening at some point. So all signs pointed towards bike ride. Usually once I get out here pedaling, my body changes its mind. It's like, yeah, this is fun. So I hadn't filmed the Neuse River Trail in a little while, so I figured I'd bring you guys along with me today. Nine and a half mile marker. That was a quick mile, wasn't it? Feels like it. Anyway, I usually start at Buffaloe Rd Athletic Park. Adds a little bit of distance. I think it's like the 11 and a half mile marker, and then I park far away from the greenway, like a half a mile from the greenway, just about. So it adds another mile when you go both ways. But for the sake of the video, I figured we'll make a little bit shorter. Trim the fat, so to speak. It might be a little too early for the animals to be coming out, so we might not see a bunch of wildlife today, but maybe we will. This greenway is awesome. It's so smooth, and like even the bridges are pretty smooth, so you can really carry some speed. This is usually where you see the fast riders come out and ride, from my experience anyway. I don't count myself in that category. I'm half fast. But last time I filled over here, it was summer, so we need to get a little fall vitriol. Sure is pretty this time of year, and it's not so hot. I like these little bridges like this in the floodplain. They got it raised up off the ground. And as we saw yesterday, they take pretty darn good care of them. Oh, we got some wind today. 8.5 mile marker. We're just knocking them out. So he had an electric bike. I thought he was going pretty fast. I thought maybe he had a tailwind, but he got an electric bike. If I was a commuter, I would have an electric bike. For those mornings where you just don't feel like it. Although, I have a car, so. But if I were to commute on bike, if I was already in good shape, I would go ahead and get one for fun. But the reason why I ride bikes is to exercise. So that would kind of defeat the purpose, wouldn't it? Bikin McNuggets 2-pack. So yeah, I should go ahead and give a shout out to Jeff, who runs, or owns I should say, All-Star Bike Shop in Raleigh. He got my bike going good. I was having some shifting problems, and he's been doing this stuff a long time, so I trusted him that he could get it going as well as it could, and he sure did. So I appreciate it. I know he probably won't be watching this, but if you see him, tell him I said it, because I've already told him. But he gets to see the Greenway all the time with his own eyes, so I assume he's probably not going to be watching this. Coming up behind you. Looks like we're cruising at about 18 miles per hour. I think I average about 16 on this stretch. We probably won't go quite that fast today because I got to be able to talk. If I get to breathing so hard, I won't be able to talk. You gotta be careful of this pine straw on the wood. It gets really slick, easily bustable. Or if the wood's wet, you could easily crash. So be careful. Kind of quiet today. It's been pretty busy out here on the Greenway lately in this area because the weather's been so good. But I must have caught it at a good time. It's about 2:30. Which reminds me of a really corny joke. What's the dentist's favorite time? 2:30. Seven-mile marker. So we're about a third of the way. We're coming up behind the WRAL soccer fields off of Durant Road. It might be Perry Creek on this side of Capitol. That road changes names. At Capitol Boulevard, I believe. Oh. The crows are just drifting across my pathway. Some people don't like to acknowledge your existence or wave. Puppy dogs. Hey, puppy. Hey. Probably not the best idea to let your dogs run without a leash on the greenway, but they seemed like nice dogs, and I understand it's cool. Dogs gotta run. I wish I could bring mine. I'm thinking about getting her like one of those little leashes that connect to the bike. Oh gosh, a squirrel tried to run out in front of me. She wouldn't be able to keep up this pace, but we could do it, you know, do a slow ride. She could run beside me. I also looked at, they got trailers that you can pull on your bike for dogs specifically, like a baby trailer, but for a dog. They're pretty good, but she needs to run. That would defeat the purpose too. So I feel bad having to leave her at home. We're kind of inseparable, but I gotta get out and ride for my own benefits. I wonder if we'll see Tom out here today. I feel like I see him every time I ride. 6-mile marker. No matter which direction I go on the greenway, I feel like he's out here somewhere. He rides a lot. Gear down, gear down. Pushing too big a gear. If by chance you don't ride bikes a lot, a word of advice, keep your cadence up a little higher, like 85, at least 80 repetitions per minute. It saves your legs. You can go further. When you use up your muscles take longer to recover than your cardiovascular. And pushing more RPMs uses your cardiovascular system more. Whereas when you're just pushing like really low RPMs, it's all muscle. And so you'll be a lot more sore. You won't be able to ride as far. The next day you won't be able to ride the same. So yeah. And being a heavy person like myself, heavier than almost all cyclists, it really helps to keep your RPMs up so you can just keep on top of the gears and keep moving. So when you hit like a little hump or a hill, you don't get bogged down nearly as easily. Really thin people can get away with pushing bigger gears because they don't have so much weight. And if you got really, really strong legs, I guess. But still, everybody has their own style, but higher cadence I found to be better. And if you're trying to lose weight like myself, you burn more calories. Coming up behind you on your left side. Not sure if he heard me. I think that might have been a robot. .5-mile marker. So we're over halfway now. This is a cool spot in the river. It's kind of like a bend, and they have like a little area there where you can sit. I think a creek maybe connects with the river there. They got a little bench set up and a little beach. I think you could fish maybe down there or something. People fish all along here in different places. I don't know anything about fishing, or fishing spots, I should say. I know the basic concept. Squirrel! Squirrel! Squirrels are unpredictable. Most animals run away from the greenway. Squirrels will run across the greenway in front of you. I got the sniffles. Happens every time I ride the bike. Start sniffling. Now, unlike the other capital area greenway system greenways, this one doesn't run like through the city. It just goes along the Neuse River, kind of on the outskirts in the floodplain, whereas the other creeks are creeks instead of a river. They kind of run through the city. So there's less neighborhoods. I mean, there's some neighborhoods, but not as many. Alright, so we're coming up on one of the few hills in this area of the Greenway where the old abandoned pump house is. And I went into that thing on another video. If you want to check that out, you can go and look on my Bikin McNuggets YouTube page and see that. It's pretty interesting. And I may or may not have heard a ghost in there. So I heard something. And there were no people around, but it was a human voice. So probably wasn't, but it could have been. So we're going up the big hill. It's not too bad. When I first started riding, I would dread these hills. But gotten a little stronger and actually got a new cassette with bigger gear in the back, so I can get a little higher velocity on my pedals. McNugget coming up. Coming up behind you. Hey. I feel so bad for people riding cruisers like that. Poor people. I don't think I could even ride one of them things. Alright, this is the intersection for the Abbots Creek Trail. Take a left there. It goes up towards Durant Road where the old dump is. There's a park there. And they have single track mountain bike trails there, from what I understand. I rode them many years ago when they first put it in, and it was really bad, so I never went back. But I'm sure over the years they must have gotten better, or people would stop riding. So if they are still there, they got to be better than they were. This is Bedford Town Drive. Coming up behind you guys. On your left. Hey. All right. Let's see, I think we're coming up on the 2.5 mile marker, maybe. What is it? 2.5. I was right. 2.5 miles to go. Bit of a headwind. All right, another person that completely ignores my existence. Love you, mean it. I actually sat up, waved, big old wave, not even looking at me. People are weird. But most of the people aren't from here. But if you were raised to smile and wave and say hello to people. Especially if you're out in the middle of the woods by yourself. You see another person 3 feet from you, out in the middle of the woods, and you don't even acknowledge that they're there. What the hell's wrong with you? Hey, we got a nod. All right, better than nothing. I'm gonna have to make a game out of this. See how big of a hey I gotta give people to get a reaction. It'll make my ride fun. Coming up behind you guys. On your left. Thank you. But it's true, a lot of people that live here are not from here. People are moving here, and for years and years they've just been filing in. And the people that live here have been filing out. Coming up behind you, on your left. See, look, he's got his dog running with him. That's cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. On your left side, hey. Well, yesterday we were riding in the quote-unquote poor section of town. Today we were riding in the quote-unquote rich section of town. The Greenway covers all demographics, but this is where all the fancy houses are, ones that I can't even imagine living in. I didn't even know people lived like this until I got into high school and started going to school with kids, rich kids, quote unquote. I had no idea that, like, you know, you see stuff on TV, but if it's different strokes, I'm Arnold, not Mr. Drummond. But yeah, it was weird. Because kids would have parties at their house when their parents went away. And I would see these houses and would not even believe it. Hey, oh, we got a slight head nod. But that's all we ask, really. Acknowledge that we exist. I need it. I need some confirmation that I am still here on the planet. Maybe I'm needy. Hey, all right. She smiled and said, "Hey, I love her. She's so nice." Hey guys, how are you? Now those people rock. That's what I'm talking about. He cool. I rode by this one kid, probably teenager, up near Anderson Point one day. Went by and was like, "Hey, what's happening?" He looked at me like I had two heads. I was like, "What's up?" No response. "What's up?" At that point I was like, okay, he's just purposely not talking to me because he's either too cool, he can't talk, or I don't know, or he was scared, I guess. Didn't look scared. It was kind of like an act of defiance against me. Like, no matter what you say, I'm not gonna say anything. That's how I took it. Because I asked him 3 times. It's an unfortunate way to be. I was just trying to be nice. Alright, so here's one of the parking lots for the Greenway. It's like the remote dam parking. No reaction. Big wave. They don't even turn their head. Maybe they're really concentrating really hard on their bike. Squirrel! Squirrel, 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 squirrel. You gotta yell at them so they don't at least know you're coming. Squirrel! Squirrel! I guess it's easier to find nuts when they fall on the greenway than in the grass. Check it out. We're pulling up here to the Falls Dam area. There's also a bike shop here called The Bike Guy. I think he has canoes and stuff too. Hey, there's a pack of Bikin McNuggets. Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey. All right. This is the tail race fishing area. We can go ahead and ride down to the dam and I'll show you what it looks like if you've never seen it. Pardon me. Hey. But you can ride all the way down. Here we are. Oh. All right. Well, everybody, if you watched this far, bless your heart. I hope you enjoyed this section of the Greenway today. And thanks for bearing with me talking about my personal problems. So until next time, remember, walking is for the birds. So get out there and ride your bike. And before it gets too cold, enjoy this beautiful weather. And we'll see you again next time. Hasta la vista. Peace.